Hi, good day, wherever you're watching, and thank you for joining us on another beautiful edition of your monthly talk show, The Real Talk. The Real Talk is that program we have designed and chosen to take our time to keep alive, floating, bringing to you different interesting themes, and of course, our panel come together to review it. We are not just critics, but we are also driven by the passion for the growth of the industry. And when you look at our trend so far, I would say it's been a wonderful walk, a great teamwork with the panelists. My name is Akim Ogumilade, formally welcoming you on this edition of The Real Talk. Today, before we go into the details to begin to mention before we begin to talk at all about the movie we will be discussing, I would want to say a happy International Women's Day to all mothers, all women, all the feminine world, the gender. We're wishing you people all the best. Thank you for being our pillar. Thank you for being that supporting role that you have always been. On this note, I would want to begin to welcome into the studios our guest, our panelists, who together we shall be dissecting the movie titled Story of Us by Uchenna Mbunabo. Let me start by welcoming in our one and only Irene Chukuma, Queen V. Queen V, it's such an honor to have you this afternoon again in the studio with us to discuss. How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your program. And thank you for wishing us women happy International Women's Day. And from me to other women, girls, I wish you all a happy International Women's Day.
Thank you so much. And to our audience, we want to welcome again our um, doctor who has been very instrumental, supportive behind the scene, ensuring that we bring to you on every monthly basis interesting movies that we're going to dissect and share our opinion upon. We have Dr. Adewale Akonde joining us in the studio. Hi, Doctor. It's a pleasure having you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, fine. Good evening. How are you? And also, I'm using this opportunity to congratulate women all over the world for this historical day. Today is their day. I really appreciate the International Women's Day.
Thank you.
So let's elevate there.
On
Exactly.
behalf of the women, we say thank you.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. To our esteemed
We
viewers.
discuss in which one of you behavior of in which one of women now we discuss it now.
Exactly. All right. To our esteemed viewers, we equally want to say thank you so much for being there. And we are still expecting our other panelists. We're looking forward to having the others join us in the course of the program. Like you all know, our schedule here in the part of the world at times can be so overwhelming. Having said that, we're cutting straight to the chase. The movie we will be talking about today is that movie that I'm sure would really blow your mind if you've not seen it before. It's titled Story of Us by Uchenna Mbunabo. This man, as the producer, is well noted for producing very, very high-end Nigerian movies. And he has a YouTube channel with over 2.5 million subscribers. This is a lot of work, commitment, and today we decided to pick on one of his movies titled Story by Us, starring Nada Buhari. And I will not be doing justice to that alone. For those of you who might not know about the film, well, we would suggest that go and watch it. So let's start by with Queen this afternoon. Queen, what is your take about this movie? Let's start with that question.
So my take about the movie is an excellent movie with an excellent story. It's not like the regular stories we see. This is a brand new story, and while I was watching it, I'm gonna tell you, um, I had a roller coaster of emotions. My emotions were up, down. Sometimes I'm crying, sometimes I'm laughing, sometimes I'm crying and laughing, you know. And because of this review, I had to watch it a second time, and to separate myself from that emotion, because the director did such an excellent job to separate myself from that emotion. I had to do more of only listening than watching, because the director, she really worked on the cast. Like, the cast were excellent. The cast, like, their expressions were just natural, normal, like a typical human being. It wasn't like they were acting. So she really did a lot of good job with the cast. In fact, why I know it's a female, I have to go check who directed that. So I checked her, I checked out her Instagram and everything. She did an excellent job with that movie.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. That is really, for me, it's an applaud for you to rate the movie. Now let's ask Dr. Akonde. For you, how would you rate this movie holistically first before we begin to go into the different themes and different areas we want to evaluate today? So, Dr. Akonde, you are muted.
Okay.
Now we can hear you.
There's a voice in the background as well.
What kind of voice is that? Is it the music? Doctor, is it the music?
No, somebody's the movie is running. Somebody is playing the movie.
Oh, it's Mr. Akim. Mr. Akim. I think Doctor has.
Yeah, the movie is muted, so you just go ahead and talk. The movie
You
is
can
not.
hear it from here.
He said he can hear a song at the background. It's
Yeah,
fine.
the song is fine. It's a deliberate. We just have a music at the background. So go ahead. Yeah.
Actually, thank you, Mr. Akim. In fact, this when I first searched for the movie, I discovered that there is another movie that bear the same title, but that one is just an American film. And when I got to know that it's Uchenna, because I've watched Uchenna's film before, and this one most especially is one of the best I've ever watched, because the director did a good job. Honestly, the emotional aspect is fantastic. There's nobody on earth that watch that film that will not sense one or two things. Especially, are we to talk about the sexual harassment? Are we to talk about the way the child is treated? So are we to talk about other things we're saying about the film? At the same time, it's very, very educative. It let us to know a lot about what is happening in different homes, especially the problem between the husband and the wife, as regards intermarriages and as regards what happened to their past. Because you've seen from that movie that the idea of let your partner know the past even disrupted everything for them because they are just knowing themselves. I think they are just knowing themselves. It's a very, very, in short, to just wrap it up, it's one of the best emotional and educative movie I've ever watched at the same time. I love it so much. It's good. It's very educative. It teaches a lot of things about human beings behavior, and we see how the issue of that sexual harassment comes in as well, which is very viral in our country now. It's a nice movie. Uchenna Mbunabo did a very good job, honestly.
Awesome. That's for a credit. Kudos for him as a producer. Now let's begin to go into details. For people who might not have watched it, I wouldn't want to, break the juice. I wouldn't want to lead you too into, trying to summarize of the story. But the fact is, from our own perspective, we have, as a team of panelists who has chosen to review this movie. For me, I'm already getting, a great thumbs up from my two colleagues on the project. And let's start with the question for Queen. Queen, in terms of the storyline, the from the way it started, establishing this young damsel who, in the Nigerian context, will say is rugged. She's rugged, establishing her that way towards the point of, getting to meet the grandmother in the late status. How would you describe the storyline from the beginning down towards the end in terms of suspense, in terms of humor, in terms of expectations? How would you describe it? Now, Queen, you're muted too.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know that.
Now you're
Yeah,
back.
so yeah, the storyline was well put together by the writer, and I would say the director executed the story through his cast in a very, very um like professional way, and he did a very good job. So the storyline of this, and then again, the choice of the cast also helped the storyline. You saw, like, even him getting Sopuruchukwu to look like Somtochukwu, which is the mother, was excellent. And then a lot of people could say, "Oh, how possible is it for a mom to uh, deny her child like that?" You know, there's a lot of reasons why, like, we saw the reason, but somebody would also say, why would she do that? Like, is it enough reason? Why didn't she just get over it? You have to be in that woman's shoe to know what she's going through. You have to be like, I've heard where even people would have babies, and after they have babies, they are not able to even look at their babies. They're not even able to take care of their babies. There was even one I heard recently that she's a professional, a doctor at that. She didn't know she was pregnant, and then she had the baby. She didn't know she was pregnant, and those I've heard things like that people will not know until delivery day. So she didn't know she was pregnant until delivery day. She had the baby. A doctor in America, earning high, took that baby and threw that baby away, like through the balcony, and the baby died. So a lot of things go through women after birth. A lot of things go through women's head that could cause that kind of rejection that Somtochukwu had against her daughter Sopuruchi. So it was a great storyline. The only reservation I have with this story, as excellent as it is, the reason why Sopuruchi left after she saw that her grandmother had died, the statement she made was that her grandmother must be buried properly. She has to go and she has to go and find her grandmother's daughter, that's her mom, to come and bury her mom properly. That her grandmother won't just be buried like a nobody. And then she found the attic of her grandmother, found the pictures and everything, and was able to set out to look for her mom. But now I know that They want to teach a lesson. They want us to learn how to forgive. I personally, I didn't really think the end of the man who raped her, the family coming to beg and everything, was the greatest of it. I think if they had now gone to bury her grandmother, that would have made a better ending for me. As good as the movie is, I think that would have made a better ending. That, instead of that scene of forgiveness, she should have gone to where her own mother, like Somtochukwu's mom, died, and gone to bury her. I kept on asking myself, did I miss that? Did I miss that? Because that was the first reason why she set out. And she should have been eager to go and see her lost grandmother. They didn't even bring it. Even when all the forgiveness came, she's supposed to ask, how about mama? How about my mom? How about this? So
Okay.
that's my take
Uh,
on that.
yeah, thank you so much. Let's move over to Dr. Akonde. Dr. Akonde, look at the situation. You're just you know right in front of your house about going out, and somebody comes. The child comes and says to your wife, "I am. You are my mother." I don't want to take it from the perspective of the African man. I want you to relate pick up the story from that point in terms of the storyline. Do you think? How would you say? The director, the scriptwriter. Do you think they were on a very positive course to nail the story as to how it ended from that perspective?
Thank you, Mr. Akim. The director, like I said earlier, did a very good job in making that Sokochuku she's the main actress because she played a very good key role. That means that Uchenna Mbunabo must have done his job very well to get that girl. Without that girl, that's Sopu, you couldn't have enjoyed it. You couldn't have enjoyed this movie like this. He tried to get this girl, and this girl acted so nice and showed us a lady that is raised on the street, that they have to be rugged, they have to be desperate in what they are looking for, and a lady trained by grandmother. People that are trained by grandmother, we should know our stories, our life story. If somebody is being trained by a grandfather or a grandmother, they are the kind of people that are so wise. They must have learned a lot from these older men. Their experience, she said this in the story. Our experience is above our age. Said it is mentioned in one of the scenes. So the producer or the director uses this guy to let us get the better part of the story. So I wasn't surprised because the guy is so desperate to find a mom. She got just small information. She's got to go with that information that she need to go and find her mom. Despite what she has the moment done, she won't even want to know what really happened, which the other auntie told her later. So the story, and also the director also find somebody like Nada, the Somtochukwu, because she played the part of devil very well from the beginning to the end. Because I too, like my colleague Irene said the other time, I was so surprised that why this woman is so much heartless. Because I couldn't understand this. This girl, Sopuchiku, is innocent. She doesn't know what transcends between her mom and the father, or the people that are raped the mother. She was born innocent. She doesn't know anything. That made him thinking, why this mother has to behave in such a way to a daughter that is innocent. She doesn't know what happened between the father. She doesn't know the history. And the guy was even that daughter was even begging her, Mama, please, if because of me, please, I'm begging you, forgive me, please, just forgive and forget. The lady she did everything to win her mom back, and luckily, the husband of from Tochukwu did the most marvelous job in it also. That's why, like my colleague said, he used the best actors for each. All of them played their role very, very well. From the gate man to the chief actor or an actress, they did marvelous job. I really enjoy it, and it makes you to understand a lot about different kind of people. Because this story it tells us about sexual aspects. It tells us about children maltreatment. It tells us about love and emotion. It tells us about a kind of stone-hearted woman. Right to see this. Despite
Okay.
the fact that she doesn't like the baby, she still need the guy's blood. That one, you can see that one. She need the guy's blood to make other daughter to survive. But she doesn't want her at all. You can see the kind of women like that. That one tells us about your marriage as well. Before getting married, those couples they need to discuss their history. By the time, yeah, I'm not saying when they are copying, when they are doing a kind of a romance, yeah, we are my devil. No, when the thing is getting serious to the stage of getting married, and after marriage, you need to tell your story.
Okay. Now, Dr. Akonde, before you begin to get very judgmental here, I wouldn't want us to go that route because, yeah, because the truth is this. I want to give kudos from the script writer, from the story development level to the producers and the director and the DOP. You know, honestly speaking, just like we have said, the casting was fantastic. Top notch. The child, everybody played their role so much. For me, this kind of film deserves lot of international awards. You see the cinematography, that really spelled out our territorial topography to pass their message across, and everything was so brilliant. Now, let's go back to Queen. Queen, this question is for you. You already gave us a snippet into your perspective about it, that there can be reasons why a mother would choose to go so insensitive to all the pleas of the child. But in this story, I want to call your attention to a point. The point where our daughter, is Ila, the other one at home, needed kidney. She knew very well that Sompo would be a match. She kept bribing her. So now, when we look at this kind of attitude, that at that point, it is a level of hatred. Like for me, it's not like because he loved the girl at that point. No, he just needed to survive another one for that point. So at that point, don't you think there was a line crossing, apart from whatever trauma that brought about the existence of that girl? Let's talk about it from the feminine perspective.
Somto Chukwu, which is Soparum Chukwu's mom, Nadia Buhari, which is her mom, she suffered postpartum depression. If in fact you can say mental health, because it can go in for years, and then she buried that pain she had. She buried it. She never and then left. If you remember, there was a place where her husband said, where she said she should go check herself into an orphanage. So the husband was like, but you were in the orphanage, like, why do you want somebody? So remember, she had that child when she was 14, I think, and then she buried it. She tried to forget about it, and then this child comes back so she should be about 28, from, if I calculate with the ages. So it's something that can happen. It's something that can happen. There is a lot of things we have buried, but it takes another little thing to bring up that thing we've buried. And you can see when she came to reality, when she almost started accepting terms that that child, you know, you can see how much pain she was going through. Now, as much as she has buried that child, she has also buried the love she had for that child. That's why she was willing to take a kidney, and it was just even going to be a kidney. So she didn't mind to take a kidney to save that child she loves. Now, let me push it back to men. I remember my father had a friend, and then he went to a party. And when he went to a party, in the night, he was dancing with one lady in the village, like they were in the village. They came from the city to the village. And then one night, this lady got pregnant. And when she had a baby, this child was the carbon copy of that man. Just one night. And he hated that woman. And every hatred he had for that woman that got pregnant for him, he had it for that his child.
Okay.
So, so you as a man, think about it. So the love you have for your wife or your partner is also what sometimes you transfer to the child, and the hatred you have. So the hatred she had for what happened to her apparently was what she transferred to
Okay.
Soporuchi.
Okay. Well, I was still coming for you. You're the only lady amongst us today. Noreen is not here. Emilian is not here. Now, I want to ask Dr. Akonde. Dr. Akonde, be very realistic. Do you think there is in the real sense of life, do you think there is any character like this husband? Do you think a man would accept all the characteristics of the husband in reality? Let's look at it from the initial thing that somebody comes to accuse your wife that you are my mother, and he didn't take it personal. He didn't go the route of, okay, let's do a DNA. He kept quiet. He started pushing for the child to the point of, he wanted him in the house. Now, when we move forward, also look at what the man did towards the end. Even when he knew that my wife was hiding something like this from me, he still got close. Do you think, in the real sense of, in reality, there is a man like this character?
Uh, Actually, is is a kind of exceptional man. It's difficult to get a kind of man like that. Honestly, very very difficult. Honestly, because though we have men like that, but it's if you want to put the percentage, you don't have much of men like that, because the bad parents of nowadays produces even bad children. You know that one. You see bad parents, they produce bad children as well. There's no way, because success is predictable, failure is predictable. If you see a family that is not good, but this kind of man is very rare, man, because despite he went to go and drop this lady, this girl in the town with his car. Do you know that he still gave him his business card? If you are saying you don't want somebody again because the wife pushed him to go and drop the Sopuchuku, he went to go and drop the girl one day. And then if someone want to drop somebody like that, she doesn't need to engage so much talking with the guy inside the car for so long. And at the same time, she get money, and when she was leaving, she dropped his card, his business card. That means it is showing that he still love the boy, the girl. He's a kind of real person, one being. So you just go and drop the lady anywhere, despite the gossip. So you see, you could see what the woman was saying. The fire he was undergoing inside there. But he's a man. He's stood by his own with his integrity, and he has empathy. You can see that he's a man of empathy. What
Okay.
really happened to the mother has affected a lot about her. I don't know if she met a therapist, therapy. She did a kind of therapy that time, because she was fatal. It was bad. It destroyed her character, because You get to a level that you have to be thinking that no, this lady, this small girl, is innocent. Though we learned about the heart, the raping, but she is innocent.
Okay, let's take it from there now. Let's take it from there. When you begin to go the route of she's innocent, I think it's going to be a bit contravening Queen V's perspective, which she started from. She said there could be um, traumatic reasons for such extended hatred. But that's not what we are really looking at this point now. We want to move into technicalities. I want to start with Queen. Do you think, let's say, in terms of the post production, the editing, in terms of overreaction and overexpressions, in terms of elongated scenes, there were some scenes for me that looked very much dragged. A lot of emphasis were laid for reasons that we could not eventually put together. So, did you spot any of these kind of technical glitches that took away maybe one or two marks from the overall marks you are giving this production?
I'm going to disagree with you that I didn't experience any of that, and I have my reasons. So, for example, when the writer and the director and the whole team introduced us to Soporochi, when they introduced us to her, they introduced us to her in the market. We needed to see how the market is. We needed to see, they were able to show us how violent or how aggressive she can be, which was able to help us watch some other things later in the film. So that the director paid so much attention to details, even with the background actors. In the market, you could see how they were doing, you could see even it was so natural. Then now, at the point her grandmother had passed on, you could see initially you would think is like from like a Nigerian thing where if they're acting movies, people are watching. The director paid attention to detail to have people already sympathizing, oh, she doesn't even know what has happened. We could feel it. We could see that expression while she was coming home happy. And you see, that's what happens in that kind of environment when somebody dies. It's a communal environment. Now, again, we go to the bus park. The director also did a good job there. We needed to see how a bus park is, how even when she was lost and she had a bag, what happens in the bus. We needed to see those comments. That's what happens in a bus park, in a bus stop in Nigeria. They couldn't have, the director, he needed to see how it happened. So for me, there was no place, even when the accident happened. You saw when the man was saying she was injured, she said anything that causes accidents in anybody doesn't happen to her anymore. God has taken that place. She cannot even have an accident that would injure her or kill her. Then also with her illiteracy, the director made sure she maintained that illiteracy to the end. From the beginning, when she couldn't even read the letter and she had to ask for somebody to help her read the letter, she maintained the literacy. Now, we also go to the end, almost the end, when they were watching a movie. You could see when Somto Chukwu, that Soporichi's mother, held her daughter to her arms, and Soporichi was at arm's length. And when it was time, and she looked at her, the director paid attention to detail. That's a small detail, but also was able to bring out pathos in her audience. Because the director is Cassie, the executive producer is Mambo, but the director is Ben Cassie. So let's not miss. She did a good job. Like she did an amazing job with. She paid a lot of attention to detail. Like any question you would want to ask, she would answer it. For me, I give her
Okay.
another thumbs up.
Awesome. That's good. Now, because this from so far so good. I think we have been highly rating this movie, and this is because it is what it is. This is, for me, it's a very exceptional story, and when we look at the characters as well, the characters are where everybody kills the role. For me, this is a lot of teamwork behind the scene, and the overall success is what it is today. Let's get back to Dr. Akonde as we begin to round off on this edition. Now, from we've mentioned, we were taking it all together, from characterization to the mood to the theme, cinematography. Let's talk about the sound and the sound score. Dr. Akonde, do you think it actually complemented, passing the mood we all expected to feel at every point? Do you think the sound was so top notch? What's your take on the audio perspective of the job?
Yeah, thank you. The issue of audio is in two dimensions. I'm not going to take about this, the sound effect and the music played. The music play is 100%, but the sound effect in the beginning of the movie, if you can recall, we had some problem inaudible to get what they are saying sometimes in the movie. If you check it very well, there are some aspect that I don't know what maybe there was a problem, technical problem. That they didn't raise the voice that time. You couldn't get it very well that time. There are some aspects I don't know if I can recall where it takes time to listen to get what they are saying. As inaudible, they are talking as if that you don't want to listen to. The other part, especially when the couples are having grudges together, that one was perfect, very clear and perfect. But they are saying involving this where this lady, she was talking alone when the grandmother died. You couldn't hear very well. But about the music, they I don't know, they made a very good love music, love mother father love. Sorry, mother child love music that I love so much. That normally plays. This is very very good. But there's other aspect I don't. The last scene, another aspect I couldn't understand very well. With all what happened to this Suntututu of rejecting this lady, this daughter, and later change her mind to accept her, and later she even dropped her again. At the end, I couldn't get that aspect. I don't know why the director had to let it end in such a way that they are sending a daughter that they've not seen for years, more decades of years. Even if you want to change a doctor to another doctor, the new doctor has to ask for the historical background, the background of that patient. So to know how to treat the person. This guy is just coming up to learning from that start illiterate speaking people, getting to school, reviving, and it can be best done with a modern care. Not to have to transfer the guy again to those people that they've not even heard about the doctor for many years. I couldn't get it. To me, I look at it. What sense does it make that the guy that you are not changing the best life, the daughter life, you are bringing a sopuchuku to him to go to school?
Doctor, I don't know if I didn't watch any part like that. I think they just wanted them to have access to say I to R. I don't think they actually now passed R.
No, that's I was thinking that because she when they came, when they first came, she sent them away.
Yeah.
Which I feel she didn't even have the moral right to do that.
I think it was more forgiveness. They just wanted to show, movies most times they just want to teach a lesson. I also had a problem, like I didn't even need that part where the rapist parent came, because also they made a mistake there. Remember, she didn't even know who had the baby. She said several people raped her. So how do they know? So those were the lapses. That's why that part wasn't needed. Instead, they should have added She was 14 years. Don't mind, don't forget that. They should have added her grandmother being buried and not that part. I think, everybody is learning, we're growing, but we are all learning from we learn from everybody's mistakes. People
Yeah.
learn from our mistakes. We all
Yeah,
make
yeah.
mistakes. So whoever the writer is, sorry, I don't have your name right now, but these are the kind of things you should ask yourself. Like, okay, did they need to be there? You already said she was raped by different people. We don't know who had the baby.
Yeah.
How did they come and say that was the baby? I know you wanted karma for somebody, but why are we giving karma? Are we sure that's the right people to have the karma? Then we also, the grandmother wasn't buried. Soporum Chukwu came to Abuja to make sure her grandmother had a befitting burial. You didn't show us that. So I think those were the lapses they made.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much. We want to begin to round off now with our final
And
picks.
if you don't mind, please, I needed to add to the man.
Oh, okay, you
Like-
could do that with your rounding
Okay,
off. So Queen,
okay.
let's begin to round off with you.
Okay.
Let make it very holistic. Like you want to talk about the man as well and your overall rating for the film.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so my overall rating for the film, I'll give them 9/10. And for the reasons I've said before, the ending wasn't justified. Like we said, I just don't want to repeat it. If you say she was raped by other people, how are we sure that those were the real grandparents of Soporum Chukwu? Then why didn't I see that the grandmother was given a befitting burial and she went back home in peace, to make peace with where she left? And then about the man is an exceptional man. I was thinking about it as well. I was like, will any man just accept a stranger? Or did he have the intuition that was his wife's child? Do you understand? If I was the wife of the man, okay, because I know it's my child, in my mind, I know that. But I'll be asking, are you trying to bring a second wife? Are you trying to bring, a side chick into the house? Like all of a sudden. So it was questionable, but it's not impossible because I've heard that people bring in homeless people into their home and take care of them. So it's not impossible. They're exceptional people in this world. It could be possible, but it's questionable, especially from the community we come from. It's questionable.
Okay. So Dr. Akonde, now let's begin the round off. I want you to take your rounding of perspective. I want you to start from the role of the sisterly love thing. That young girl there, how she was able to, influence her mother to. But despite that didn't break the woman. That makes that woman really very hard-hearted, right? I want you to take your round off from that perspective and your overall rating of this movie. And before you continue, please, I also want to really compliment the effort of that young girl, the key character. What's her name?
Soporum Chukwu.
Soporum Chukwu. That lady reminds me of a long time ago in the industry we had young talent like that, very young, the likes of Mary Okolo then and some other people in the early late 90s. There were teen actors, actresses, but along the line, they were just lost. Like we didn't get to see them again. For me, she really stands like the future of Nollywood, having to play that local role very, very well. But meanwhile, let's give it up for Doctor to pick it up from the perspective of the kid sisterly love role, a silent theme in this movie that we have not talked about.
Thank you so much. The first thing, let me read the flip. It's also like a Queen. It's 10. It's 9. That's 9/10. The guy really tried. Despite just few lapses. The last one, Queen mentioned about the last thing that like I did. That I found it a kind of lapses there. The sister to Sopochukwu, that sister, that's I told you, she could have done that aspect that Queen was asking. She could have just made sure to let us to a kind of introduction to those people. Maybe the director could have used that sister to introduce those people that came last, because they don't introduce them actually, like Queen said, you don't know them very well. The woman could have done that aspect. Also, as concerning the Sopuchuku, honestly, I don't know any adjective I have to use for the girl.
Beautiful.
With this film, she got to win an award. Honestly, she did very well. She showed a kind of a city girl. A city girl, they are so rugged. It's good. The first thing to see that she was able to maneuver herself in the market, talking to another lady, finding a way to go and sell, to provide. You could see, I feel like that one encouraged us to let some children of nowadays to see that if you don't fear, you achieve a lot of things in life. Not the kids of nowadays that are so they are fearful. They cannot take the good by their own. They cannot even do something for themselves. I remember myself. It's just a story for another day. You know that I got to Spain with just a phone number. Traveling to Spain in my life, I went with a phone number I got from a friend's parents. I don't have the address, and I called the number before leaving Nigeria, but I got to Madrid. So you see so if I just tell anybody that I'm going to Spain without my friend's address, I'm going to Spain without my sister won't allow me to go. Even your pastor, you just no, where you want to go? You want to go to a country where you don't have the address. They are speaking Spanish. So I went to Spain with a phone number. And the phone number I called in Nigeria, I couldn't get through until I got to Madrid. That's another story. They 12 days in Madrid. So I could say, when I was looking at the film, I just wow, this girl left the village to Abuja, a capital city. She knows she can survive. She knows even if to live outside, to sleep outside, she knows everything. So I really appreciate the girl so much. She did a lot of things. She's not to win her. She really tried the film. Like we said, the whole things of the film is okay. All the technical aspect of the film, so it's good film. I advise people to watch it. So emotional. There's no way. You love it so much. I thank the author, the director, and the producer.
Yeah.
The whole team, actually, the whole team.
Honestly,
the whole thing. Honestly,
even the baby girl, the small girl was amazing. She was
amazing,
awesome.
Like the love.
Nada Buhari killed it, and the male actor.
See, the children, they love themselves.
They were all at the best of their game. I
love it.
Well, so Doctor, on the final note, would you rate it a 10 over 10 or a 9 over 10?
I said
9 over 10. Already give it. Huh?
I said 9 over 10. I said
9 over 10. Okay, 9 over 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so 9 over 10, 9 over 10. Well, from my own perspective, 9 over 10 is really, really a highly rated one for us. We'll rarely do that on our panel here. We are really impressed, and we want to see great works like this. This job beats a lot of jobs, and I say it can go anywhere in the world. It was really selling, the real African, the real Nigerian thing, and that is who we are. We are brave, we are fearless, creativity at its peak. And I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Akonde, for your time today. Thank you so much, Queen V, for your time. We'll look forward to bringing you another beautiful edition of this program sometimes next month again. In the meantime, please go and watch it. And Queen, I would want to say to all Nigerian Canadian filmmakers too who are doing jobs here and there, encouraging our people to support them by watching their films, those on YouTube and everything. To Uche Mbunabo and your team, with love from Canada here, we said we are so proud of this beautiful, emotional masterpiece you brought to us. We are proud, we love you, and we want to see much great things like that. Yeah. Thank you so much. And this is how far we'll be able to go on this wonderful edition of our program. And we are coming back same time next week on another wonderful episode of the show. Till then, stay out of trouble and
thank you. Bye. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Yep.